On a Tuesday morning in early 2026, 30,000 Oracle employees opened their email and lost their jobs. Oracle had just posted $57 billion in revenue. The company was not struggling. It made a choice. The email arrived at 6 in the morning Eastern Time. It was signed Oracle Leadership. No name, no face, no phone call. By the time most of them finished reading the first paragraph, they were already locked out of their computers. 30,000 people. Gone. In the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee, the severance packages varied. Some walked away with 60 days. Others got less. A handful got nothing but a forwarding address for their personal belongings. Here's the number that should stop you cold. Oracle posted $57 billion in revenue the year those 30,000 people were let go. Net income, $12 billion. This was not a company bleeding out. This was a company making a choice. And there's a reason this happened that Oracle never put in the press release. We'll get to it. If you want to see how Oracle turned its own workforce into a training dataset and then deleted the trainers, hit subscribe. This story gets worse before it gets better. To understand how Oracle failed this badly, you need to go back to 1977. Larry Ellison was 23 years old, working a series of dead-end tech jobs in California, when he read a research paper published by IBM. The paper described a new way to store and retrieve data, a relational database. IBM had invented the concept. IBM had no plans to build it. Ellison did. He founded Oracle, originally called Software Development Laboratories, with $1,200 and 2 partners. The first real contract came from the CIA. The early years were brutal. Oracle nearly went bankrupt in 1990 after overstating revenues and booking deals that hadn't closed. The SEC investigated. Ellison survived by cutting 40% of the workforce and restating the financials. It was the first time he proved he could cut without flinching. But the product was real, and the market was enormous. By 2000, Oracle controlled 42% of the global relational database market. Every major bank, every government agency, every Fortune 500 company ran on Oracle infrastructure. The software was so deeply embedded in corporate operations that switching wasn't just expensive, it was terrifying. By 2010, Oracle had acquired more than 70 companies, including PeopleSoft, Siebel, and Sun Microsystems. The workforce grew to over 100,000 employees. Revenue crossed $26 billion a year. Ellison was the 3rd richest man on the planet, but Ellison had already started thinking about something that had nothing to do with databases, a question he'd been sitting on for 2 years, and the answer was going to cost 162,000 people their sense of security. By 2024, Oracle had $49 billion in cloud contracts it hadn't even fulfilled yet. That number matters. Remember it. At its peak, Oracle didn't just dominate the database market, it owned the conversation about what enterprise software was supposed to be. 98 of the Fortune 100 companies ran Oracle products. Not most of them, 98. The company's cloud division, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, was growing at 49% year over year by fiscal 2024. AI infrastructure contracts were being signed faster than Oracle could build the data centers to fulfill them. What they promised was a seamless transition to the cloud. What they actually built was a dependency engine. Migrate your data to Oracle Cloud, and leaving becomes a decade-long project. The lock-in that started with databases in the 90s had simply moved one layer up the stack. Sound familiar? The flagship product was Oracle Fusion, an AI-integrated suite covering finance, HR, supply chain, and customer service. Ellison called it the future of enterprise software. In September 2024, at Oracle's annual Cloud World Conference in Las Vegas, Larry Ellison, chairman and chief technology officer, told the audience, "All of our applications are becoming AI agents. The latest applications that we are building, we're not building them. They're being generated by AI." $49 billion in cloud backlog. That's not a typo. And here's what nobody in that room was asking out loud. If the AI is generating the applications, what exactly are the 162,000 employees still doing? That question had been answered internally. Oracle had been working on it for 2 years, and the answer was not what those employees expected. $49 billion in backlog, and the man who built it just told a room full of people that AI was writing the software now, Nobody asked the obvious question. If you've been saying this for years and nobody listened, this channel is for you. Subscribe. You're not alone. Here's the decision that changed everything. And once you hear it, you'll understand why 30,000 people walked away and never came back. In late 2024, Oracle's internal restructuring plan identified a specific category of employee, the people whose jobs had become, in the language of the internal review, automatable at scale, cloud server monitoring, legacy application maintenance, on-premises finance system support, scripting, routine infrastructure management. Many of these people had been at Oracle for 10, 15, 20 years. They had institutional knowledge, they had trained the systems. Some of them had spent the previous 18 months feeding data into Oracle's AI models to help those models learn how to do their jobs. What they told you, Oracle is restructuring to meet current business needs and align resources with strategic priorities. What they actually did, Oracle identified every role its own AI agents could now perform, eliminated those roles, and redirected the payroll savings, estimated at $8 to $10 billion annually, directly into AI infrastructure and data center construction. Employee forums lit up within hours of the early 2026 email. On the professional network Blind, one Oracle engineer with 14 years of tenure wrote, "I spent the last year training the model that replaced me. I have the Jira tickets to prove it." That post was shared 40,000 times in 72 hours. Oracle's attempt to quietly restructure became the loudest corporate story of the year. Imagine David, a cloud infrastructure engineer in Hyderabad, early 2026. He arrives at his desk at 8 in the morning, opens his laptop, and gets an authentication error. He tries again, same error. He checks his phone. The 6 a.m. email from Oracle leadership is sitting in his inbox. He reads it twice. He calls his manager. His manager's phone goes straight to voicemail. His manager got the same email. India alone lost 12,000 Oracle jobs in that single wave. 12,000 people in one country on one morning by email. Here's what Oracle's own earnings call, held just days after the layoffs, revealed: a number that made the entire restructuring make perfect sense and made it significantly worse. That was the mistake. What happened next was the punishment. The numbers are worse than you think. The numbers don't lie. In the days between the mass layoff email and Oracle's next earnings call, Oracle's stock dropped 8%. That's $11 billion in market capitalization. Gone. 30,000 jobs eliminated, 18% of the total workforce. India, 12,000 cuts from a 30,000-person operation. 40% of Oracle's entire Indian workforce, wiped out in a single morning. In the United States, WARN Act filings showed hundreds of cuts in California and Washington state alone, with more filings expected across 17 additional states. Oracle went from 162,000 employees to approximately 132,000. 30,000 jobs is more than the entire workforce of Twitter, Snap, and Pinterest combined at their respective peaks. Amazon Web Services didn't send a sympathy card, they sent recruiters. Within 72 hours, AWS job postings in Oracle's core markets jumped. Microsoft Azure's recruiting teams moved immediately, targeting the same cities Oracle had just cut. Google Cloud posted dozens of open infrastructure roles in the weeks that followed. When your competitor fires 30,000 engineers, you don't wait. Enterprise clients with upcoming renewal decisions began requesting contract reviews. The word Oracle started appearing next to vendor risk in procurement documents. You already know how this ends. Imagine a senior Oracle account manager in Chicago. She had been doing this job since before Oracle had a cloud division. She kept her job in the cuts, but half the technical support team behind her didn't. Her clients started calling her directly, asking questions she couldn't answer about systems now being managed by AI agents she had never been trained on. Here's the reason Oracle never put in the press release, the one planted in Chapter 1. Oracle's earnings call, held just days after the layoffs, reported fiscal revenue up 11% year over year, cloud infrastructure revenue up 51%. The company was not struggling, it was accelerating. The layoffs were not a response to failure, they were the price of a BT, a deliberate trade of human capital for AI infrastructure, executed at scale, announced by email at 6 in the morning. They were counting on you not noticing. Here's what the story of Oracle actually teaches us. 3 things. Stay with me. Here's what the story of Oracle actually teaches us. First, when a company tells you it's investing in the future, ask who's paying for it. Oracle didn't raise new capital to fund its AI expansion. It didn't take on debt. It converted its own workforce into a budget line. 30,000 salaries, benefits, and equity packages became data center contracts and GPU clusters. The future Oracle is building is real. The people who built the past version of Oracle paid for it with their careers. Second, the most dangerous job in tech is the one that teaches the machine to do your job. The Oracle engineers who spent 2024 and 2025 feeding data into AI models, documenting workflows, and optimizing automation pipelines were not securing their futures. They were writing their own termination letters. The same thing happened to the people who digitized the filing cabinets in the 90s, and the people who moved everything to the cloud in the 2000s. Every generation gets one transition where they think they're safe because they're the ones doing the migrating. They're not. Third, a 6 a.m. email is not a communication strategy. It is a statement of values. Oracle had 162,000 employees. It had the resources, the time, and the leadership to handle this differently. It chose not to. That choice tells you everything about how Oracle views the relationship between the company and the people who built it. If you've watched a tech company promise you the future and then hand you a severance package, you were right. Oracle bet that its employees would accept the trade quietly. 30,000 people proved them wrong. Drop a comment. Did you see this coming, or did you think Oracle was one of the safe ones?